Episode 12 of Maestra, Strings of Truth, begins with a flashback of Runa's nefarious acts. She overhears Jean and Phil after the Art Center concert and cuts Jean's car brakes. She then overhears Cha and Seum talking about Remingtons when she is in the hospital after the car crash. Runa gets the poison from Jinyang, and whenever she is alone with Seum's bag, whether in her room or office, she poisons the perfume. She then injects Bonju and Phil, who sees her face before he blacks out. At present, Assistant Huang sees Zhang and Seum rummaging through Runa's office and reveals that Taeho asked for Runa's address. Zhang panics as he calls him. Meanwhile, Runa knocks out Taeho and runs off. Seum and Zhang show up at her place with the cops. They barge in and Zhang is shocked to see Taeho bleeding. Why does Runa target Seum? At the hospital, Seum comforts Zhang. He stays beside the injured Taeho the whole time. The cops begin casing the crime scene. The chairs are questioned along with Runa's sister, Haina. Haina finds Seum at their house and reveals that Runa was obsessed with her. Turns out, Runa was adopted a second time along with Haina. Their mother had diabetes and Runa looked after her. Everyone was touched by her caring nature, but Haina realized that Runa would manipulate the numbers whenever it seemed their mother wanted to leave the hospital. Back then she wasn't sure, but now she thinks Runa overdosed their mother till she died. After her death, Runa then starts obsessing over Seum. Haina explains that Runa sees Seum as her new mother figure and will do everything in her power not to be abandoned. How does Seum catch Runa? This gives Seum an idea of how to draw Runa out. She changes the concert piece to a Handel duet, which she and Runa will perform as violinists. Chu goes through Runa's diary and her dream is to perform the piece with Seum. But the chairs refuse to let Seum perform alone as it will be her last concert. Even Assistant O shows up and offers to conduct the piece. Jean volunteers as well and confesses that it will be her last concert too as she is leaving for Canada. Seum compliments her, saying she shouldn't stop playing the horn. Jean is moved and apologizes for everything. Taeho wakes up and Zhang is relieved. However, he finds out that Seum is acting as bait and tries to stop her. She explains that it is the only way and it is the least she can do for Runa. Seum puts out an interview saying she will be playing the violin for the first time in years and is eager to perform with Runa, who watches her in disbelief. Chu finds Jinyang and is hellbent on catching Runa before the concert. It is D-Day and the concert begins smoothly. Seum conducts the overture as usual. URA watches with Hangil and decides to focus on her work rather than chase after Zhang. Runa is at the bus station as she watches the performance. Everyone is nervous as she doesn't show up. Seum continues with the concert and switches to the violin. Just as the Handel piece begins, Runa arrives and joins Seum. As Seum encourages the performance, Runa forgets everything except their happy moments together. Seum smiles at her as the performance ends and Runa tears up. In the green room, Runa thanks her for making her dream come true. The cops suddenly surround her and she is hurt by the betrayal. She takes a screwdriver and claims that Seum will never forget her. They think Runa is about to attack Seum, but she stabs herself in the neck. How does it end for everyone in Maestra, Strings of Truth? It cuts to Seum discussing her upcoming trip with Haijong and her father. She assures them that it is a short trip. She then visits Phil, whose memory is messed up because of the lethal dose, and he keeps composing pieces for her. Next, she meets with Hanphil for barbecue. O is the chief conductor and Taeho has recovered. She looks fondly at everyone as they enjoy themselves. Runa is alive but has a scarred neck and refuses to meet Seum in prison. Finally, Seiyum visits her mother's grave and checks the results of her Remington's test. She has a teary smile and Jong-jae shows up. They banter as he reveals that he has quit as chairman. He wants to join her on her trip and she jokes that he is not the only one. He realizes that she hasn't said no and she just smiles. They bump shoulders as they leave the cemetery at the end of Maestra, Strings of Truth Episode 12. The episode review. Well, with Maestra, Strings of Truth Episode 12, a fun little K-drama comes to an end. All the loose ends are tied and everyone gets a satisfying ending. The bad guys pay for what they have done while the good guys prevail. It also makes sense why they don't show Seiyum's report, as it doesn't matter now whether she has Remingtons or not. With Phil out of the picture, the report is not a threat to her. It is not like she could change her fate even if she got it. She gets her last wish of performing at Hanphil and decides to travel as she wants. Though, we wouldn't be mad if we got a season 2 which reveals if she has the disease or not and how she goes about navigating this new change. The K-drama also gives us a reasonable resolution for Runa's story, though it is peppered with a little extra drama and theatrics. But from her obsession with Seiyum to her delusions about the duet, it ties up perfectly with her character. The same goes for Jong-jae, who is still toxic and possessive. The show leaves us with an open ending for the romantic angle, satisfying fans who are Team Jong-jae and those who aren't.